Hello, Scott. My captain told me that she wanted to see you.
Is it related to you? Are you sick?
No. Not that I know of. She didn't tell me why.
Oh, well, should I take my pouch then? It's an important question. I should still take it though, but it's a little heavy. All right, I'm leaving without it.
I think I have a problem with going through your friend's things. I hope whatever you're looking for, it's worth it.
I'm trying to find information about the past. It's personal, okay?
Forget it. I couldn't understand. The officers, they aren't like us. They're above them.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello? I found some of your father's letters.
I knew it. Tell me.
Most of the correspondence was friendly. They were very close. However, there was some tension between them over time. Some letters gloss over an expedition that they had done together, but what surprised me the most is when your father talks about a boy who was actually Scott's son. The last letter I found is a bit bizarre. I didn't really understand what he meant.
What did he mean? Do you remember?
Your dad begged Scott to stop the madness, warning that his wife's divorce was only the beginning of what he would lose if he couldn't face the truth. That it was too late for his son. He seemed to think Scott was on the verge of self-destruction.
It's true that it's rather mysterious. Scott, a son. Did you know?
No, he never told me about him. He obviously lost him. No doubt it's still a touchy subject.
We have to find out what this is all about. You have to ask his wife. Did my father really mean to interfere in his family drama? Maybe that's why he disappeared? Please, Zechariah!
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
Listen, I think Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research, and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better, maybe even find your old friend.
The drive to dissect even the smallest details, to try to understand how and why. That thirst once drove me too, but I let it go. There was no well deep enough to satisfy that thirst. I was never as involved as Scott. In truth, I began to give up my work once we had our son. The focus of my research had been the study of animal mutations with the goal of vaccine production. And always wondered if... Because of that, I had been the conduit that carried the infection to my son. Scott was more interested in genetics and its medical applications. The second our son showed signs, though, I completely stopped my research. If I hadn't told Scott, he would never even have noticed. And his answer was to swear he could find a cure. He really believed that with his work in genetics and mine in vaccination, that we could save our son. But I was too devastated to help him. All I wanted to do was spend every second with our son before he was taken away from us. Which, of course, happened. And Scott and Mark took off on a wild goose chase that he was sure would end in a cure. I didn't get it. There wasn't anything he needed that he didn't have access to in his lab. And while he was off, I was alone, and waited, and eventually got tired of it. So I asked for a divorce, and then they finally came back, with nothing to show for it. But soon Mark took off again to find what I guess were raw materials for research that Scott swore he couldn't find here. And that was the last I saw of him. That's all I know. I never found out what their research was on, and honestly, I just want to forget it all. Please now, can you leave me be?
Make the slightest move.
Hell, I
you're
can
dead
feel for
man.
what the old man's been through. I've known some folks myself who went through the same thing. Terrible thing. Breaks couples up, you know. Stress of never being able to have kids again.
Why never again?
Because they sterilize families who've had them to make sure they don't have no more.
It's sad, but it's the only way to protect our own kind. At least now I understand why the professor's so...
Fortunately, this is beyond my skill level.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello? I talked to Scott's ex-wife.
So, what did she say?
It's an awful story. Her son. Anyway, their son was struck by mutation. They took him away from them, of course, but it made Scott go crazy, and he was convinced that he could find a remedy. He asked for your father's help, so they left together, and were gone for a long time. Their exploration apparently didn't lead to anything concrete for the boy, and Scott descended into madness. And then one day, Mark left. His ex thinks that it was to bring back something useful for his research, and he never came back.
Shit. So my father's disappearance is related to that poor kid? It's really awful what they must have gone through. That explains a lot about why he's so crazy, and also why he behaves as if we were his kids. Thank you, Zach. That doesn't answer all my questions, far from it, but I have a better grasp of what happened. My father disappeared by helping his best friend, who was going through a rough patch and wanted to heal his child. It's a sad but beautiful story, isn't it? I'm gonna think about all this. Thank you again.
You're not like other girls, are you?
Is that supposed to be a compliment? Or are you being a wise ass?
You took on a tough job. Driving places you don't know, taking soldiers on missions, scouting the front lines.
It's easy to do anything when you love what you do. I love not being stuck under a roof. Getting out there, you know? You call it tough, I call it lucky.
Exactly why I said you're different. Average person, girl or guy, lives on the safe side. They may not love the city, but they know it. So, they stay there.
Life's what you make of it, and I want to make it an adventure. So if you're looking for some dangerous escapades, I know a girl.
Think I may just take her up on that. Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
I'm sorry, Scott. You were right to worry about your friend. According to his assistant, it seems that he had problems. He was quite critical of the corporation, and you know how dangerous it's been lately.
How crazy he was. He should have just stuck to his research. How foolish to meddle with politics. He was a very good researcher, you know? He made real progress on the settlers' genetic origins. How sad. And that poor woman who must be worried, sick. Listen, I thought... Anyway, maybe you could...
What's going on?
I know that I'm asking a lot from you, but I was wondering if maybe... you could continue to investigate. You are someone important now. You know a lot of people. They can tell you if Veronica's suspicions are justified.
I could probably talk about it with my captain, or tap into some contacts in the know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I want to be sure, you see. I think that you need to recover his latest research. I strongly believe that, besides what he said, he found something dangerous. The ASC, they're thugs. We must not allow sensitive scientific research to fall into their hands. The risks are too high.
I'll see what I can do, but I doubt that Veronica will give me Charles's documents willingly. She's very protective of her boss's work. Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
Could you take a look at this blood? It's a boxer who got killed, and I need to know what happened to him.
You have suspicions as to how he died? You know, boxing is a violent sport. Maybe he took too many hits. I've already seen head traumas that were so violent that the brain looked like jelly. Or maybe... Oh, yes. You want an analysis. Maybe he'd been on drugs. Give it to me, I'll look at it. It'll take me a couple...
So...
This person... A boxer, you said. He was put in prison. No doubt about it. Nobody would use jellyfish venom to boost oneself. It's a very dangerous venom, you know, and very hard to extract. There was someone... let me think. Yes, that's it. A merchant who was selling items for hunters. Would you believe that the guy had learned how to extract venom from jellyfish? It was quite daring. Because they blow up, you see, so it's complicated.
Thanks a lot, Scott. I'm gonna go see that merchant. No way I'm gonna find the girl's client at this hour. Probably working. I'll just come back later tonight.
Make the slightest move, you're a dead man.
Hey there.
Officer, hello! What can I do for the fine officer today? Check out my merchandise. I have everything you'd ever need for hunting.
I hear you're the only merchant selling jellyfish venom.
You heard correct. Extracting the venom is a very delicate procedure. Would you...
The poison was just used to kill a young man who was making a name for himself in the arena.
That's horrible. But I just sell it, which is perfectly legal. And though I assume it's usually being used for big game hunting, I have no way to know for sure what my customers are going to use it for.
You sold any recently to someone who didn't strike you as a hunter?
Keeping in mind that it still isn't against the law to sell the venom, there were some gentlemen, looked more like Vori than hunters, but I mean, there's no way for me to... Who am I to judge, right? I've seen them in the neighborhood, and to prove I'm being honest, show me your men. Here it is, right here. It's where I last saw them. Please don't shut down my business.
I'm not shutting you down. Just stop selling this shit to folks who don't call themselves hunters. Clear? Word is, you're the guy who paid to kill Derek Labor. Guy who won his last fight in the arena a few days ago.
Fuck you! Who the hell you think you are coming in here like this, prick? How about we teach you a lesson in manners? How about that, boys? We're the ones who shot Derek.
And who sent you to do it?
Shit, it was that fucking guard who watches over the fights. He wanted Derek gone. I don't know why, so don't ask. I just took what he paid, and I did what he asked, all right?
Yeah, all right. An honest killer. What'll they think of next? Later.
What are we doing here, Lieutenant? It's an official mission? It isn't, is it? What are we gonna do if we come under attack?
Then we'll defend ourselves. Look, I know Anton Rogue's not the kind of guy